When you first begin your quizzing ministry, you may be in a situation where you have to practice without official quiz equipment. Don't worry. Many have started that way until their program can afford equipment or until it becomes available to borrow from another church. Here are some tips, tricks, and ideas for structuring your practice to be as effective as possible, even without jump seats. Prior to the start of the season, contact your district YBQ director for the competition schedule. Use this to plan when you will begin practicing and what chapters you will cover at each practice. There are no rules on when, where, or how long a practice should be. Do what works best for your situation. Talk with your church leaders, prospective quizzers, and their parents to see what works for your facility schedule and doesn't conflict with previously scheduled youth ministries at your church. Typical quiz practice times include after lunch on Sunday, before Sunday evening service, before Wednesday youth service, or as a designated small group during the week. While these are typical, anything that works for you and your team is best. Typical quiz practice locations are at the church or at a host home. Host can include you as the coach, volunteers from your congregation, or one of your quizzers' family. The length of your practice varies with the available time of everyone involved. While most programs practice for 60 minutes, others have up to a 3-hour quiz practice that includes a variety of activities, including devotions, games, study, and jump practice. Whatever you do, be sure to communicate the quiz practice time, location, and duration clearly before the season begins. As a group at the beginning of the season, determine your team and individual goals and how you plan to achieve them. Establish some expectations for you and your team. For example, 1. Quizzers commit to attend practice whenever possible. 2. Coaches will come to practice prepared but willing to adjust as God leads them. 3. Quizzers will study during the week and complete the assignments. 4. Quizzers and coaches will encourage each other during practice and during the week. Once you set the expectations for your practices, you are ready to plan your agenda. Practice should feel like school, but in all the best ways. Engage students from the moment they walk in the door. Have a walk-in activity ready as students arrive. This can include any combination of the following examples: rulebook review, a non-quizzing youth group style game, youth Bible quizzing crosswords or word search puzzles, memory verse hangman, or a 4 in a row or tic-tac-toe with practice questions. Students are active and ready to quiz right away. Quiz practice should then include a Bible study or devotional time. This can be led by you as the coach, your youth leader or any pastor on staff at your church, a parent, or even the students once they feel comfortable with your routines. During this time where you are digging into the quiz material, use different methods to review the text so that students don't get bored doing the same thing each week. Consider these methods. Listen to an audio of the new scripture, a group dramatic reading, have a small group discussion of the new scripture or devotional related to the new scripture. Each of these examples reaches different learning styles. Changing your methods up will meet the needs of most of your quizzers, who may all have different ways that they learn best. Some will stretch their comfort zones, like the dramatic reading, but what better way to make quizzing memories than acting out the word? Most practices should include a time when you or another quizmaster use practice questions to simulate competition. These activities give students exposure to how questions sound, how they are written, and where key information is presented in the question. Without equipment, you may think this is the hardest part of holding practice. Where are the lights? Where's the buzzer? How will I know how early in the question my quizzer can jump? Even without the technology, there are several fun and easy ways to assess your students' ability and readiness for the next quiz meet. Here are several suggestions on how to practice answering questions without seats. Starting at the first verse of the chapter you are studying during that session, ask each student a question from a verse until the end of the chapter. The first time around, let the exercise be open book, but on additional times through the chapter, have the students close their scripture portions to check their understanding and memory of the material. This drill will test the speed at which quizzers can recall information from this week's material. In pairs, students will answer 5 questions from a list of 20 at different stations around the room. Each member of the pair must answer at least 1 question of the 5 required at each station. The goal is to be the first team to complete all the stations. As the students become more familiar with the activity and material, raise the number of correct answers to 10, 12, and 15 if they are ready for a challenge. This exercise tests the speed of a larger group of students working together. This is a great way to emphasize teamwork and encouragement between quizzers. Split students into teams of 3 to 5. The coach or another volunteer will ask each quizzer a question from a list of 20 questions. The quizzer may interrupt the reading of the question to finish it and give the answer, much like they would on a pre-jump on the seats. If correct, ask the next quizzer the next question. If incorrect, give the answer and ask the next question to the next quizzer. Return to the missed questions after asking all 20 questions. The goal is to be the first team to answer all of the questions correctly. This quiz game requires some strategy and skill, helping quizzers think ahead to making good choices when they are on the seats with their team. In Survivor Quizzing Edition, students play as individuals or in pairs. When correctly answering a question, the quizzer or team stays in the game and chooses who must attempt the next question. If incorrect, they are eliminated from the game and a new question is read to the group. The first quizzer to signal they want to attempt the question can do so. Continue until only one quizzer or team remains. Classic board games can also be adapted to help students practice quiz questions. This game uses quiz questions to play a game of Trivial Pursuit. Assign question types to each of the game colors and let the fun begin. Once practice time has ended, send students home with an assignment. While they may not like the word homework, completing study and activities at home will make practice each week more fun and engaging. Students will gain more knowledge during the week through study and activities that enrich the quizzing material. Here are some suggestions for things you can assign for students to complete during the week. Read the next chapter X times a day. Review all previous chapters at least X times this week. Review the official practice questions from the book or app. Learn X memory verses. Complete the crossword and word search puzzles. Contact your assigned quizzer during the week for encouragement. The key to leading practice without equipment is to keep the quizzers busy and engaged while giving them the feeling that they are doing something and not missing out on having quiz seats. By using fun alternative practice strategies, quizzers will continue to build their knowledge of the material as well as create community within their teams and program as a whole.